Your mind can either be your greatest ally or your toughest obstacle. It has the ability to shape your reality, guide you towards happiness, and drive you to success. But how do you harness this power? How do you train your mind to work for you instead of against you? Today we will explore 7 key lessons from Buddhism that will help you cultivate mental clarity, overcome inner turmoil, and unlock your fullest potential. Imagine a life where distractions no longer shake your focus, where emotions don't control your actions, and where you are at peace with yourself. These lessons are simple yet transformative, and you can start applying them today. Let's dive in and discover the secrets to a calm, powerful, and resilient mind. Lesson 1. Recognize the inner enemy. The first step to mastering your mind is understanding the real struggle lies within. The enemy is not an external force, but the fears, doubts, and negative thoughts that reside in your mind. In Buddhism, these inner disturbances are referred to as defilements, greed, hatred, and ignorance, which cloud judgment and drain your energy. Think of your mind as a cluttered room. Doubts and fears are like scattered objects, making it difficult to find what you need. Greed is like wanting more possessions, even when you have enough. Hatred is like clinging to broken items that no longer serve you. Confusion is the overwhelming feeling of not knowing where to begin cleaning. These mental messes prevent clarity and peace. To confront this inner enemy, we must first be mindful of its presence. Mindfulness as a tool. Mindfulness means being fully aware of your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Imagine shining a flashlight in a dark room. The more light you bring in, the easier it is to see what's hiding in the corners. By practicing mindfulness, you gain insight into what triggers negative emotions and can begin to address them. Practical tip. The next time you feel anger or jealousy, pause and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What is fueling this emotion? Simply recognizing the source of these feelings is the first step to weakening their grip. Lesson 2. Observe, don't react. One of the most profound teachings of Buddhism is the practice of non-reactivity. In life, it is easy to be swept away by emotions, acting impulsively out of anger, fear, or excitement. However, reacting without awareness often leads to regret and unnecessary suffering. Imagine a lake. When a stone is thrown into calm waters, ripples form but eventually settle. Your mind should function the same way, acknowledging emotions without allowing them to control you. Understanding the enemy. Within, one of the greatest battles you will ever fight is not with the outside world, but within your own mind. The real enemy is not a person or a situation, but the doubts, fears, negative thoughts, and uncontrolled desires that live inside you. Buddhism refers to these inner struggles as the defilements of the mind, which include greed, hatred, and delusion. These negative emotions cloud your thinking, drain your energy, and keep you trapped in cycles of unhappiness. Imagine your mind as a cluttered room filled with scattered objects, old toys representing past grudges, unnecessary items symbolizing attachments, and piles of dust embodying confusion. In this messy state, it becomes difficult to find clarity, focus, and peace. Greed manifests as the constant craving for more, never feeling satisfied with what you have. Hatred lingers like broken objects you refuse to throw away, keeping you stuck in resentment. Confusion, on the other hand, makes it impossible to even begin cleaning, leaving you overwhelmed and lost. To reclaim your mental space, you must first recognize these intruders, understand how they influence you, and begin the process of clearing them out. The power of mindfulness. The first and most powerful tool in mastering your mind is mindfulness. In Buddhism, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Think of it as shining a flashlight in a dark room. When you turn on the light, you begin to see everything clearly, including the hidden corners of your mind where negative thoughts and emotions reside. Instead of suppressing or ignoring these thoughts, mindfulness encourages you to acknowledge them with curiosity and understanding. For instance, if you often feel jealous of a friend's success, mindfulness helps you recognize the jealousy without being consumed by it. You may ask yourself, why do I feel this way? What insecurities are causing this emotion? By bringing awareness to your feelings, you take the first step toward freeing yourself from their control. Over time, this practice helps you respond to life with clarity rather than reacting impulsively. Whether you are dealing with stress, anger, or anxiety, mindfulness allows you to pause, reflect, and choose a response that aligns with your highest self rather than falling into destructive patterns. Learning from the Buddha. Letting go of negative thoughts. Buddha taught that true liberation comes from understanding and releasing negative emotions rather than letting them dictate your actions. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they will overtake the space, suffocating the flowers and plants you want to cultivate. Negative thoughts work the same way. If you allow them to run wild, they will dominate your thinking and make it difficult to experience joy and peace. But if you practice mindfulness, you can identify these thoughts, pull them out like weeds, and replace them with seeds of positivity and wisdom. For example, if you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," mindfulness allows you to trace this thought back to its roots. Perhaps someone told you this in the past, and you unknowingly adopted it as truth. Once you recognize this, you can begin replacing the thought with something empowering, such as, "I am capable and I am growing every day." This process requires patience, but with time, you will notice a shift in your mindset. Instead of being controlled by negativity, you will develop the ability to consciously shape your thoughts and, in turn, your reality. Strengthening the mind through discipline. Just as a strong body requires regular exercise, a strong mind requires consistent mental training. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of discipline in achieving inner peace and mental strength. Without discipline, the mind easily falls into patterns of distraction, overthinking, and emotional turmoil. One way to develop discipline is through daily meditation. Meditation is not about forcing the mind to be silent, but about observing your thoughts without attachment. It teaches you to remain calm and focused even when chaos surrounds you. Imagine yourself in a noisy room filled with distractions. Without mental training, you might feel overwhelmed and anxious, but through meditation, you learn to remain centered, tuning out unnecessary noise and focusing only on what truly matters. This skill extends beyond meditation into everyday life. Whether you are studying, working, or facing a stressful situation, a disciplined mind enables you to stay present, make wise decisions, and navigate challenges with composure. Reprogramming your mind through identity shifts. Buddhism teaches that the self is not fixed. You are constantly evolving. This concept, known as anatta, or non-self, means that who you are today is a result of past thoughts, actions, and experiences. But you are not bound to remain this way. You have the power to change, grow, and become whoever you aspire to be. To start reshaping your mind, you must change how you see yourself. Instead of thinking, "I am someone who struggles with focus," shift your identity to, "I am a focused and disciplined person." This may feel unnatural at first, but the more you affirm this belief and take actions that align with it, the more your mind will accept it as reality. Imagine you want to develop more patience. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who is easily irritated, begin practicing patience in small ways. taking deep breaths when frustrated, listening more attentively, and choosing understanding over anger. Over time, these small actions reinforce your new identity, making patience a natural part of who you are. Similarly, if you want to become more confident, start by adopting the habits of confident people. Speak with conviction, maintain good posture, and challenge self-doubt whenever it arises. The more you act in alignment with your new identity, the more it becomes ingrained in your subconscious. This concept aligns with the Buddhist teaching of samavayama, or right effort, which emphasizes the importance of consistent effort in creating positive changes. By consciously shaping your identity, you are not only transforming your mindset, but also unlocking new levels of potential that were previously hidden beneath old, limiting beliefs. Embracing inner peace and living with purpose. As you continue practicing mindfulness, letting go of negativity, and reshaping your identity, you will begin to experience a deep sense of inner peace. Inner peace does not mean that life becomes perfect or free of difficulties. Instead, it means that no matter what happens externally, you remain calm and unshaken internally. Imagine yourself sitting by a peaceful lake. Even if strong winds create ripples on the surface, the depths of the lake remain still. This is the essence of inner peace, learning to remain centered despite life's ups and downs. With a peaceful mind, you will find that your relationships improve, your productivity increases, and you feel more connected to your purpose. Living with purpose means knowing what truly matters to you and aligning your actions with that vision. When your mind is cluttered with distractions and negativity, it is difficult to see your true path. But when you clear the mental noise, your purpose becomes evident. Whether it is helping others, pursuing a creative passion, or striving for personal growth, a disciplined and mindful mind will guide you toward the life you were meant to live. This is the ultimate goal of mental mastery, not just to think more clearly, but to live more meaningfully. Conclusion: unlocking your highest potential. Mastering your mind is a lifelong journey, but every step you take brings you closer to freedom, happiness, and self-discovery. By understanding and overcoming the inner enemy, practicing mindfulness, letting go of negative thoughts, building mental discipline, shifting your identity, and embracing inner peace, you will unlock your highest potential. Imagine a life where you are no longer controlled by self-doubt, fear, or distractions. A life where you have full command over your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This is the power of a trained mind. Buddhism offers these teachings as tools to help you navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and clarity. The transformation will not happen overnight, but with patience and consistency, you will begin to notice profound changes in how you think, feel, and respond to the world. Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And as the observer, you have the ability to shape them, direct them, and ultimately master them. The journey to mental mastery starts today. Take the first step and discover the limitless power within you. Reprogramming your mind begins with an identity shift, a fundamental change in how you see yourself. Buddhism teaches that identity is not fixed. Rather, it is fluid and constantly evolving. This concept, known as anatta or non-self, suggests that we are not bound by our past actions, thoughts, or behaviors. Instead, we have the ability to reshape our identity through conscious effort and repeated actions. If you have always thought of yourself as someone who lacks discipline, patience, or focus, then those beliefs have likely shaped your actions. However, by intentionally shifting your identity, you can break free from these limiting beliefs and create a new version of yourself. Imagine waking up each day and reinforcing the idea that you are a disciplined, mindful, and purposeful person. At first, this may feel unnatural, but over time, the mind adapts to the identity you are cultivating. Small actions, such as practicing mindfulness for 5 minutes a day, or choosing to react calmly to stressful situations, reinforce this shift. In Buddhism, the concept of samma vayama, or right effort, emphasizes the importance of steady, continuous work toward positive transformation. Change does not happen overnight, but through persistence and repetition, the mind can be reprogrammed to align with your new identity. For example, if you wish to become a more patient person, you must actively practice patience in your daily life. When faced with a frustrating situation, instead of reacting impulsively, you can take a deep breath and remind yourself that patience is a skill you are developing. Each time you choose patience over anger, you strengthen this new identity. Over time, you will notice that patience becomes a natural part of who you are. The same principle applies to cultivating focus, self-discipline, or any other positive trait. Suppose you struggle with procrastination and want to become someone who takes action immediately. Instead of labeling yourself as a procrastinator, begin affirming that you are a proactive person. Take small steps toward this identity by completing one simple task without delay each day. These actions may seem insignificant at first, but they build momentum. When you repeatedly act in alignment with your new identity, your brain starts to recognize this as your new reality. Another crucial aspect of reprogramming the mind is letting go of old, limiting beliefs. Many of us carry mental baggage. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," "I can't change," or "this is just how I am." These beliefs keep us trapped in patterns that do not serve us. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, including our thoughts and behaviors. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago, and you will not be the same person 5 years from now. Recognizing this truth allows you to break free from negative self-perceptions. The past does not define you unless you allow it to. Each day presents a new opportunity to redefine yourself. Just as a sculptor shapes a block of stone into a masterpiece, you have the ability to carve out a new version of yourself through mindful effort. To make this transformation more effective, it is helpful to visualize your future self. Picture yourself as the person you aspire to be: calm, disciplined, resilient. Imagine how this version of you thinks, speaks, and acts. Then, begin aligning your daily choices with this vision. If your ideal self is someone who starts the day with gratitude and focus, make it a habit to practice morning mindfulness and set clear intentions for the day. If your future self is confident and self-assured, begin carrying yourself with confidence now. Act as if you are already that person, and soon enough, your mind will adapt to this new identity. This process also requires self-compassion. Change is not always linear, and setbacks are a natural part of growth. There will be days when old habits resurface and negative thoughts creep back in. Instead of seeing these moments as failures, view them as learning experiences. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of awareness without judgment. When you notice yourself falling back into old patterns, simply acknowledge it and gently bring yourself back to the present moment. The goal is not perfection, but continuous progress. Over time, with patience and persistence, your new identity will become second nature, and your mind will be reprogrammed to reflect the person you truly wish to be. As you work toward reprogramming your mind, it's essential to understand the role of habits in shaping your identity. Habits are the foundation of who you become. They are the small, seemingly insignificant actions that, when repeated consistently, shape your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. In Buddhism, this aligns with the law of karma. not in the sense of punishment or reward, but as a natural consequence of your actions. Your repeated thoughts and behaviors create mental imprints, reinforcing certain patterns over time. If you constantly engage in negative self-talk, that becomes your reality. If you practice mindfulness, discipline, and self-compassion, those qualities become embedded in your character. Understanding this principle is empowering because it means that you can actively shape your future by changing the habits you cultivate today. To create lasting change, begin with small, manageable habits that align with your new identity. If you aspire to be someone who remains calm under pressure, start with a simple mindfulness practice. Each morning, take just 5 minutes to focus on your breath, noticing the sensations in your body and observing your thoughts without judgment. This small habit reinforces the idea that you are a mindful person. Similarly, if you wish to become more disciplined, set a small daily goal. Perhaps waking up at a consistent time or dedicating 10 minutes to focused work without distractions. These small wins may seem trivial, but they build confidence and momentum. Over time, they become second nature, and your new identity takes root. A crucial part of this process is self-awareness. In Buddhism, the practice of vipassana, or insight meditation, teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment. Often, people resist change because they are unaware of the subconscious patterns controlling their actions. Many of our thoughts operate on autopilot, shaped by past experiences, societal influences, and ingrained beliefs. By developing self-awareness, you can start to recognize these patterns and consciously shift them. When negative thoughts arise, such as "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed," pause and question them. Are these thoughts objectively true, or are they just old narratives that no longer serve you? By detaching from these limiting beliefs, you free yourself from mental constraints and open up new possibilities. Another vital aspect of identity transformation is emotional mastery. Many people allow their emotions to dictate their actions, leading to impulsive reactions and regretful decisions. However, Buddhism teaches that emotions are like passing clouds. They arise, stay for a while, and eventually fade. By observing your emotions without identifying with them, you develop inner stability. For instance, if you feel anger rising, instead of immediately reacting, take a step back and acknowledge it. I notice that I am feeling angry. This simple act of awareness creates a gap between the emotion and your response. In that gap lies your power to choose a more skillful reaction. Over time, this practice rewires your brain, making you less reactive and more intentional in how you handle emotions. Letting go of attachment is another key Buddhist principle that aids in reprogramming your mind. Many of the struggles people face come from clinging, whether to material possessions, relationships, or even outdated self-perceptions. The more you cling, the more suffering you create. Imagine holding a rope tightly. The harder you grip, the more it burns your hand. But when you let go, the pain disappears. Similarly, when you release attachment to rigid ideas of who you are or who you should be, you free yourself to grow and evolve. This does not mean you stop striving for improvement, but rather that you embrace change with openness rather than fear. One powerful exercise to reinforce this mindset shift is to practice gratitude and contentment. The mind often focuses on what is lacking, leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. However, Buddhism teaches that true happiness comes from appreciating the present moment. Each day, take a moment to reflect on something you are grateful for. It can be as simple as the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, or the progress you have made on your journey. By training your mind to focus on gratitude, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. This, in turn, rewires your brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles, making it easier to embrace change and personal growth. As you continue this journey of transformation, remember that setbacks are natural. The mind will resist change because it craves familiarity, even if that familiarity is unhealthy. There will be moments when old patterns resurface and self-doubt creeps in. But these moments are not failures, they are part of the process. Instead of being discouraged, use them as learning opportunities. When you stumble, pause and reflect. What triggered this reaction? What can I do differently next time? With each setback, you gain insight and refine your approach. Progress is not about perfection, it's about persistence. Over time, as you integrate these teachings into your daily life, you will notice profound shifts, not just in how you think, but in how you experience the world. Situations that once caused stress will no longer have the same grip on you. You will respond with wisdom rather than impulse. Your relationships will improve as you cultivate patience, compassion, and understanding. Most importantly, you will develop a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. This is the ultimate goal of mind training, not just to achieve success or happiness, but to cultivate a state of being that is resilient, balanced, and free. The journey of reprogramming your mind is ongoing, but every step you take brings you closer to mastery. The more you practice mindfulness, self-awareness, and intentional action, the more natural these qualities become. Eventually, they will not feel like practices at all, but rather an intrinsic part of who you are. And as your mind transforms, so will your life, because everything you experience is a reflection of the inner world you cultivate.